The Dutch are famously pragmatic, level-headed, engineering-minded, quietly confident in their ability to keep chaos at bay with enough planning, patience, and well-placed concrete. And for centuries, it's worked. They built a country below sea level and made it not only livable but beautiful, functional, and internationally admired for its resilience. But here's the truth that's getting harder to ignore with every passing storm, every rising tide, every freakishly warm winter. The Netherlands is slowly drowning. And what's worse, it's pretending that everything is still under control. You can walk the charming streets of Amsterdam with its perfectly kept canals and flower-decked bicycles, and forget that most of the country should be underwater. You can sip a coffee in The Hague or Rotterdam and admire the flood defenses and the high-tech pumps and the world-class water management systems and think, well, they've got this. But the reality is more precarious than anyone wants to admit out loud, because the systems that kept the Netherlands dry for so long were built for a climate that no longer exists. Rains are heavier now, coming in sudden, violent bursts that overwhelm drainage and flood towns before anyone has time to react. Summers are hotter and drier, drying out peat-heavy soil and causing land subsidence, which makes the ground sink even lower. Sea levels are rising, faster than predicted, while the weight of the cities, Amsterdam included, presses down on foundations already compromised by age and saturation. And every year, the gap between the natural world and the infrastructure trying to contain it gets a little wider. But what's most worrying isn't just the environmental shift. It's the cultural denial that's grown around it. For all its genius in engineering, the Netherlands has a troubling tendency to believe its own myth. That because the country has always fought back the sea, it always will. That because it invented solutions once, it can invent them again, no matter how severe the changes get. There's a kind of national stubbornness at play here. A belief that if you just reinforce the dikes, maintain the canals, and upgrade the pumps, you can delay the reckoning forever. Except you can't. And deep down, many people know that. They see the extreme weather, the flooded streets, the once-in-a-hundred-year storms that now happen every few years. Farmers watch their fields turn to marshes. Commuters wade through ankle-deep water just to get home. And coastal towns are already talking, quietly, about managed retreat, about the places they might eventually have to give up to the sea, even if no one wants to say it officially. The Dutch government continues to roll out plans. Smart cities, green infrastructure, room for the river projects. And these efforts aren't meaningless. In fact, they're among the best in the world. But even the best adaptation in the world can't change the fact that the foundation is slipping, and the margin for error is shrinking. The water doesn't care how advanced your system is. It doesn't care how long you've held it back. When it comes, it comes. And when it does, all the spreadsheets, policies, and national pride won't matter if people aren't ready to face what's really happening. What makes it so dangerous is that the Netherlands sets the tone for others. Countries all over the world look to the Dutch for advice on water management, climate adaptation, and infrastructure. They trust that if the Netherlands says it's fine, then it probably is. But when the country itself is clinging to a kind of quiet denial, the ripple effect can be deadly. The world needs honesty, not hero stories. It needs leadership that says, we're in trouble, and we need to act like it. And make no mistake, this is not a problem for the distant future. This isn't about some imagined catastrophe 50 or 100 years from now. This is about the next decade. This is about the people who are buying homes today in areas that may not be habitable by the time their children grow up. It's about cities already spending millions just to stay above water, with budgets that won't stretch forever. It's about the mental weight of knowing you live in a place that is surviving on borrowed time, even if everyone around you keeps saying it's all fine. There's still time to do something, to rethink how and where people live, to design real evacuation and adaptation plans, to stop building in vulnerable zones, and to speak honestly about what might need to be surrendered. There's still time to lead not with false confidence, but with radical transparency, the kind that doesn't sugarcoat the facts just to keep tourism numbers high and property prices stable. But if the Dutch keep pretending everything is under control, if they let pride and precedent blind them to the scale of the threat, then eventually the water will come faster than the systems can respond, and the myth will collapse under the weight of its own denial. Because no matter how brilliant your pumps, no matter how wide your canals, no matter how thick your dikes, the sea is rising, the rivers are swelling, and the ground beneath your feet is not as steady as it used to be. And at some point, the question won't be how long the Netherlands can hold out, but how long it can keep pretending it isn't already losing.